Okay, so we will switch over to live. There we go. We're live. Anybody feel any different?
I feel alive.
You're doing better than me today. Anyway, let's crack on then. We'll rattle through. I'm doing art last because we've got some input wanted. I'm kind of hoping for more people if we were after input, but hey. All
Yeah,
good.
I mean, like, why don't we, while you're rattling through the other stuff, I will put in Art Global that we're doing the roundtable and we want some input on some upcoming changes.
That'll do.
So
You just
crack on.
tack on free shirt on the end, we'll be fine. Oops, we're now demonetized. So, welcome to Roundtable 97, where you get to catch up with the WNG team and find out what we've been planned for the coming week, which is lots. A quick recap on what went on last week, which is kind of lots. Again, thank you all for spending a little bit of your Tuesday evening with us, and we really appreciate it. If you haven't already, give us some love on YouTube and socials. It brings us a huge amount of attention and allows us to bash devs over the head and get lots of fun stuff. Weekly maintenance will be at 9 a.m. tomorrow, as per usual. I think we've got a fair bit to do tomorrow. We have got a fair bit to do tomorrow. There's some benchmarking to do, there's some plugin upgrades, so it won't be a fast one, but I don't think it's going to be a overly long one either. Moving on to general news then. So bits of stuff to go on this week. We have, first of all, a shiny new development server. It's been moved to its own hardware. It used to share space with the Rust box, which housed Rust, Conan, 7 Days, I think Genesis 2, Fjordjaw, the big maps, the event servers on there as well. So that's a big chunk of new RAM that we've alleviated. The new machine for the dev server is a Zen 4 Ryzen, if anyone is interested. Boosts up to 5.4 gigahertz, 64 gig of RAM. It is only a dev server and running on NVMe drives as per the usual. This has made Nani very, very happy, especially with the amount of development we're doing at the moment and its increasingly power-hungry tendencies. This is all good. If that goes well, you got something to add?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, so this has twofold or several benefits.
Yep.
The first of those is it takes a chunk of load off of one of our main game servers. And that server is the one that runs some of the busiest maps we have on Arc, plus our Rust server, as Nani said, and Conan and 7 Days. So by moving a ton of stuff off of there, that frees up more resources for us.
Yep.
It also gives us the opportunity to test new hardware, which I think you're about to get into.
I was actually, yes. So following on from that, if all goes well, we've been doing some testing. We need to test loads and loads of stuff. We want to benchmark it. We want to test out the network capabilities, the new firewall functionality we've got, all that sort of stuff needs testing. But if all goes well, we are looking into a new supplier that will give us access, hopefully, to the new Ryzen 9 7900X range. These, again, are all Zen 4 latest generation processors, giving us CPUs, in this case, going up to 5.6 gigahertz, I think it was, on 12 cores each. It's incorrect.
No, that's indeed correct.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was, yeah. 5.6 gigahertz, 12 cores each, and this will be running DDR5. So more power.
Yeah, more power. And the sweet spot for us is, because most of these machines, we can only put 128 gigs of RAM in. The sweet spot is 12 cores, because most servers require 2 threads each.
Yep.
And that means we can get 11 game maps per server. And looking at the RAM usage of Arc and other games, that brings us up to about 75-80% RAM usage.
Yep.
Out of 128 gigs. So 12 cores on 128 gig is the sweet spot for us.
Yeah.
8 cores on 64 is actually too many cores if we wanted to do it properly.
Could be hearing things. Elf, can you hear us? Other people can hear, right? Can somebody confirm?
In chat?
Anyone? Confirm, okay.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It is Alf. So where were we then? So you were saying about cores and RAM usage, sweet spots.
Yep. So brand new server. We're using it to test all of our servers on to see what kind of performance we get out of it. But higher clock speeds means better performance in Arc and other games, and generally all good things. So then I think you were commenting on potentially moving to another supplier and other stuff that we'll be doing to this server.
Yeah. So this gives us more benefits than just that, though. So one of our biggest things that we have problems with at the moment, or not necessarily problems, but one of our biggest concerns at the moment is disk space and bandwidth to those disks. So the new boxes are going to be set up slightly differently, hopefully. We'll still be rocking the same game servers, but over more physical machines. So this lessens the load on disk load and the amount of traffic we shunt around, which is just horrific. When you look at the amount of data we're actually shoveling around through disks and through databases, it's actually quite scary. So exciting times ahead. And it also gives us some preparation as well and some headroom for obviously Arc 1.5 is due, and then Arc 2, and all the other fun, swanky things that we're going to see in between all of that.
So
Come.
I was going to say maybe the final note on this, but if you wanted to add something else on hardware, I'll save this for when you finished.
Oh, go for it. Go.
I was going to say the final point on this is we can't buy new hardware and we can't test new hardware without the support that we get from the players, the supporters, and people just generally promoting our cluster through word of mouth. None of this would be possible.
Good.
So thank you to everybody that does support us, and thank you to everybody that supports us without paying by bringing new players or generally just helping out players, providing advice on Discord, and just generally being there for everybody. If we didn't have the support, we couldn't buy the new hardware, we couldn't upgrade systems, we couldn't grow, and we can't host games. So thank you very much.
Yep, it is amazing. Community is really, really good. And this is something we bang on and on about. But yeah, without you guys and without those that do support, we can't do what we do. So massive, massive thanks to those who do. It makes everything possible and it provides places to play for everybody. So what I was going to do this week, I'm going to go through games in reverse order because obviously we did want some feedback from Arc, so I'm going to do that last. So Rust first this week. Obviously next week is, I believe, the first Thursday of the month. So new week next week and a new wipe. We're going to be going back to Last Oasis, which is like a scorched earth kind of affair. The storyline to the map goes, basically there's been a nuclear event on Earth. Earth's changed its orbit around the sun and resulted in a scorched and barren landscape where only the tough people survive. This is its second outing, I believe, for Last Oasis. This is going to be the final tuning wipe for that map. And I think we're going to be happy with that and how it plays out. Last month, or even the one that's concluding this month, was Kong Skull Island. This has gone down really well, this wipe. Really, really satisfied with how that's gone. It's really well balanced at the moment, and I think we're now final on that. Our third map in the rotation is Cataclysm, which I was really, really hyped for, but was slightly underwhelming. So that's going to go through another balance process. So that will be the month after next wipe. It'll be Last Oasis and then Cataclysm. And the plan is with Cataclysm bringing in more zombies. The cities needed more, I think. They felt a little bit underwhelming. Everyone was really excited about how it worked. It did work really well. The crowds and the swarms were great, but there just wasn't enough of them. So more zombies. Possibility of a new plugin as well for that. I want to bring in night zombies. So this is going to be a case where when night falls, you have to be careful where you are. They will hone in on you and kind of just build on the whole zombie experience of that map and make it a lot more fun. So I think when we're done with that, which will be the end of month after next, I'm pretty confident we can start advertising, growing the community. It's been a really long road. We're now in the final 2 months of development. So thank you all again to all those who've helped to test so far. We are very, very near the end. And then we can get on to growing another community and more fun. Moving on to Conan. Conan is continuing to grow in popularity. We've seen more and more players. We've got some awesome base builds going on. Our very own Chili Man has been flying around looking for outstanding builds to feature on our Instagram and Twitter. So check out Conan. Is it still on sale? If somebody can confirm, it was on something like
No,
70% off.
I did a check on it this morning, and the sale has ended on our key games.
Okay, cool. So yeah, check it out if you like your builders. Very similar to Ark, and with all the new mods that have gone in and the decorative stuff, it's producing some really cool builds. Additionally, with Conan, if you've forgotten, Twitch drops are currently active as well for your favorite streamers. So if you find somebody you like who's streaming Conan, I believe there is an exclusive bunny available, a white bunny. So get on the Twitch drops.
I'm not entirely sure what the content is they're giving away free, but if you watch a few hours of Conan on your favorite Twitch streamer, you're going to get some free shit in game. So I think it's all a good thing. Also, oh my lord, it just went out of my head. I was just thinking it, and I was going to say it, and then it'll come back to me.
Okay. So onwards again. If it comes back to you,
it was Conan. It was Conan related, by the way.
Okay, if it comes to you, just prod, and we'll go back.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Okay. You're right, GD. It's definitely old age.
Yeah, it is. If you want to check out some of the builds that have been done on the Conan server and some of the more creative builds that are on our Ark cluster, please hit up our Instagram. There's a whole bunch of stuff that John has put together on there, featuring all the best stuff that we are aware of on the servers that we host.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, if you want to be featured and also have a chance of getting into the community crunch for Ark, or having your builds called out, by all means, give us a picture. Post it in the various media channels, post it in the Conan channel, and have a look.
There he is. So, for those of you who are not aware, our very own Chili Man, Eventuating, who is currently in chat, otherwise known as John, he goes by many names.
He's very elusive too.
He is very. He pops up everywhere. He basically sneaks around most of the maps, usually popping up in unforeseen places, sometimes inside people's bases, and scares the crap out of them. And he basically looks for the best builds on all our games, finds some nice pictures, touches them up, and puts them all up on our Instagram for people to see. Some of these have been featured in Wildcard's very own, they call it, what is it, Community Crunch? Yep.
Yeah.
So your pictures get seen by like literally thousands of Ark players. And I think we've featured 3 or 4 times now, at least. And all that is down to the cool builds that are going on the server. So you can either reach out in feedback, or probably the best thing to do is take a picture of your base, chop it into Ark Media. All that is scanned. And yeah, if you want something featured, or you fancy the bragging rights of getting us back into the Community Crunch, let us know. Lots and lots of bases featured. I was actually looking at the Insta earlier. It's actually really cool now. There's loads and loads of images on there across like 4 or 5 different games now. A bit of Minecraft, 7 Days, Conan, all sorts. Rust is on there now. Ark, of course, is a big staple.
And it's all stuff that players within the community have built on our servers.
Yeah. He literally does cruise through the air, sneaking up on people in opportune situations, and just catches people in random moments. It's actually quite cool. Yeah. So yeah, if you fancy your base featured, bang them in the relevant media channels, and see if you can get them onto socials. Win us some more reputation. It's all good. So quickly moving on again then. 7 Days to Die news this week. So let's talk zombies. It's been a hot topic for quite a while, and a lot of people have been asking when. So we have relaunched our Darkness Full server. It quickly went up on dev last week, did a little bit of testing, and I moved it live at the end of last week. It's already seen some old faces come back and say hello. That surprised me. Hello, Fefner, if you're listening. How are we doing? Where are the zombies? What's going on? You can find details for the server in the other games section, along with instructions on how to install. I believe you fixed that earlier on, yeah?
Yep.
So, for those that don't know, what is 7 Days to Die? If you've never played it, you don't know. And more importantly, what is Darkness Falls? So, good questions. 7 Days to Die, basically at its heart, is a time management game. It's half and half with time management and building. You can do some really cool creative builds, but it is all about managing your time. Every 7 days, you're attacked. So, depending on your gear score, which goes up as you progress through the game, you get more gear, you shoot more things, you build more. You get attacked by ever increasing hordes of zombies until, well, 7 Days to Die, you die. Darkness Falls is a total overhaul for 7 days. So it gives us new game mechanics, a total revamp of the entire game, more longevity, and a point to the end game, which is what 7 days kind of struggled with initially. A lot of players, especially with our audience, are used to like long-term sandbox games, and the concept of being dead in 7 days is kind of hard to swallow. So Darkness Falls expands on that. As I said, more mechanics, a point, different quest lines, different classes you can do. It's really cool. At one point, we were ram full. Basically, we were quite prominent in the 7 days audience. We had some good contacts. And we had a server full of zombie killing badasses. Things got a little bit stale. The developers of the game basically took too long in their next major upgrade to it, and people got a little bit disillusioned with it. So we took a break, but we are back. The server is up at the moment. It hasn't had the whole WNG sort of swizz put on it. It's not got all the old features we used to have, but after the Rust update goes out next week, after we're happy with what's going there, I will have a look at it and I'll start to put in some of the basics that I think we need, if we can, and it can still be done. Protection for newer players. So we've had a couple of cases where players have jumped in, and it's the 7th day. So immediately you get besmirched by zombies, you get killed and broken and twisted into various positions your body shouldn't go into, and left dead on the road. So we'll see if we can get that sort of thing back in again.
I do have a little comment on that, though. If
Okay.
you do log in and it is day 7 and you're a brand new player, you're going to get a couple of zombies at most. Just die and wait out the blood moon.
This is what I'm leading up to. So one of 7 Days' big problems is people fear the zombies. So day 7 happens, the date at the top of the screen turns bright red, and people log immediately due to fear. It's all done by gear score. So at the beginning of the game, your first day 7 is probably 2 or 3 zombies, which you can punch out with your bare fists. As you progress, yes, they get harder. And the key to this is don't build next to somebody with a huge base. So, yes, as GD said as well, if you die, it's over. You don't lose everything. You just pick your body back up and the Horde Night for you is gone. So there's nothing wrong with dying. It is quite normal to run away from your base because you don't want them following you and get yourself killed to avoid. It's doable. What we don't want to see people doing is kind of leaving the server on the 7th day, because other more advanced players log in and immediately they have no reaction time at all. It's a big thing with 7 days, and there's no real way around it. So we ask that if you do play, take the Horde, die, get rid of it, move on, and please, please, please do not log out on day 7, because it's really irritating for the same 2 people to have to log on every single time and break it. They need that little bit of time to get to their Horde base. It's standard practice for 7 days to have like a builder base where all your cool stuff is. And then when the day 7 comes, you have a separate Horde base where you can defend, and it doesn't matter if it gets wrecked, you just build it again for next week. So that's the state we're in with 7 days. We will be doing some more work on it. A21 does now look to be a lot closer because they're currently starting to mention A22. However, with, we don't know. The devs can be a little bit slow in implementing things. So we do have the dedicated 7 Days to 7 Days to Die server up. Get back into it, see what you think, and it basically gives us some time just to sort of wind up, get used to things again, and get ready for when A21 does drop properly, in which case we can get that up really quickly. If you've not seen the 21 updates, they're doing a lot of changes. It's going to be really cool. So, yeah, long and short there, the server is running, it's healthy, it's not had the official WNG treatment applied yet, but this is going to come over the next couple of weeks as I get time to do it. It's been quite a bit of a crappy week. My GPU died. I haven't had time to actually get into games, so we're kind of on the back foot. But yeah, try it out, see what you think. There's a very, very good audience for 7 Days to Die. There's a lot of very knowledgeable players. There's a chat channel for it. 1490. You wish I was getting the 1490. I wish I was getting the 1490. But honestly, power use on something like that? I don't think so. So yeah, try it out, see what you think. We'll go from there. And then on to the big stuff for the night. So ARC stuff. Lots of stuff to go on. Interrupt if you need to, and just if you want to flesh something out, just stop me. We're looking at solutions, first of all, for vanishing world bosses. It's a problem. We know it exists. This is to do mainly with the feet of the boss leaving the floor. And then ARC responds by, inverted air quotes here, removing the bugged NPC, basically is what happens. We've got 2 or 3 videos now submitted of people showing us what's happening. And the plan is, I believe, to talk to some of the devs involved, help us sort it out, and go from there, right?
Exactly that. And we've already got questions coming back. The first question that I was asked, as I predicted by the developer.
Are you using modded dinosaurs?
Correct. He said, have you managed to replicate this with a vanilla dinosaur?
Okay.
I haven't had anybody definitively come back with I've managed to make vanilla bosses go poof yet.
Yep.
So we're going to have to try and force that issue and provide a video to show that it happens with vanilla dinosaurs. If it doesn't happen with the vanilla dinos and we cannot reproduce that, then we're going to have to revisit our modded dinos.
Yeah.
Because the problem's with the modded dinos, not with vanilla.
And then we're going to have to find out sort of things that work, things that don't, but at least we'll be onto something. So things are moving in that direction. Skipping back so slightly, and then I'll come back to ARC. Pooley asked, any looks at sorcery mod for 7 Days to Die? Where it exists, we'll be running Darkness Falls specifically, because I don't think 7 Days to Die vanilla has longevity to it. I will check Kane's Discord and see whether we have compatibility for that, but it is something we can look at. I do remember Kane discussing it at some point, but I can't for the life of me remember whether it was because A, it was working, B, he hated it, or C, he fell out with the developer, which is kind of a Kane thing. He does this every so often. But yeah, I'll check that, and we'll see what we think. So back to ARC then. Are we good with world bosses then?
Yeah, so I mean, there's going to be a couple of solutions. One, if we get a code solution, in which case that'll fix it and everything will be fine. But that relies on us being able to replicate the problem with vanilla dinosaurs. 2, Savage Acro and Domination Rex bosses are altered so that they can be pushed around the arena rather than having nowhere to go and going poof. That will also require some code changes, but that is something the developer may be open to doing. Or 3, we swap out the Savage Acro and Domination Rexes for vanilla dinos and change their loot pools to drop what the Savage Acro and Domination Rexes were dropping. So those are our 3 options.
Yeah. The takeaway from that, I guess, is if you're running the bosses, if you can, record them if you're running the vanilla dino ones. And if you do catch a crash, please pass it over, because it really does help.
Not a crash.
Sorry, a disintegration of the dino, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a disappearing dino and it's one of the normal ones and you've caught it on video, really interested to see that. That would be awesome. I get why the developers do this. They have a million people haranguing them with different problems all day long. Some of those people are transmitting like legit information. Other people are not. And they've got to a point now where it's like, well, show us. We get that with Rust too. It's like, I've got a problem. Well, show me. Okay. But yeah, if you catch them, please do. Send us some videos. Second point then for tonight. Not forgotten about raidable bases. Still a thing. We're still waiting for the latest update to the plugin. But worth noting, it is in the works. Obviously, as well, we've now got Nugget as part of the team. as I promised Nugget the other day, he will get to work on some raidable bases too. So once I have my new GPU in tonight and I can get actually back into a game, I'm going to get our test server moved over to the new kit. And then we can set Nugget to work and he can work on some new really cool, smaller raidable bases, which will work. The issue we've got at the moment is the larger ones and having multiple destruction points in the base. The plugin at the moment only allows for one, and we're asking the dev to implement multiple destruction points. So yeah, there's DJ's just posted. He's approved that. He likes our suggestions. That's going to be done. But in the meantime, Nugget wants to build. Building is something he's really passionate about and is also really, really good at. So we're going to be working on some smaller ones in the meantime, hopefully, to get some content out to you guys before we get the big ones out. That's about it for raidables this week. Next point then. Okay, so Dino wipes are now in effect on every single server restart. So initially that'll be Wednesdays for maintenance, Sundays when the automated reboots happen in the morning, and
Indeed.
Possibly any other situation that causes a reboot, like a mod update or something like that. We've got suspicions that dinos have something to do with the crashes we've been seeing a lot recently. This is now in place. And so far, you said, what, 4 days without incident now?
Yes.
It's kind of a sticky situation. We prefer people to kill the dinos off, but if it's working, it's working. So hopefully the crashes are getting a bit more under control, and this will help a lot with that.
Previously, we were going like, months without a crash, if not more. I don't know what's happened recently, but the slew of updates coming out of Wildcard have either affected some of the mods we use or changed the way something works in the base game so the mod doesn't want to play nicely with it. But yeah, it's something that is very hard to troubleshoot. All we can say is we know it's not any of the custom server-side modifications that we have in, because our crash logs would tell us that very quickly.
Yeah. Okay, so next up, as reported by a few people now, the fix for the weekly and daily quest bug is going in on Wednesday with maintenance. This fixes a bit of a bizarre situation where after a restart, I believe it is, you can claim your rewards again.
Yes, that is correct.
That will be going in tomorrow. Thank you to those who've reported that, and that's all got sorted pretty quickly. Next big change then. This is going to be a bit of a big one from both our side and player sides. The way you upload your character is going to be changing. As of now, when you upload, and obviously we get the /download functionality with this, where you can claim your gear, that only actually uploads your inventory or your backpack. Going forward, it's going to contain also your toolbar or hotbar, or whatever you want to call it. This is going to lead to a complete removal of the vanilla upload process via the obelisk or the terminal. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, the main reason behind this is if you DC while you're traveling between two of our arcs, you don't actually arrive anywhere. Then you log back in and you have no gear. You do your /download to recover your gear from our database storage.
Yeah.
It recovers it all in its entirety. And if your gear was still present in the ARC upload folder, it will recover your hotbar as well and stuff you're wearing. Now, that's not always possible. Because say there might be the reason you DC'd was because the server crashed or whatever, and you arrived and it wasn't there, and then you went offline, and then you came back and all your stuff had gone. It means the download command now will assuredly recover everything you had when you joined that server.
Yep.
This also means that if a server crashes and then you log back in, it's rolled back and you've lost all your gear, we can reset your last download or upload to our database.
Yeah.
And that means you yourself can then recover all your gear from when you joined that server, which means you don't have to hang around in game. It also means that any staff members or admins can initiate a gear recovery for you, and you'll be able to recover with downloads everything that you had when you last transferred into the server that you're currently on. The key takeaway here is if you log into a map and you find that you've got none of your gear due to a server crash or a rollback, don't start hopping around maps trying to get your shit back, because we'll be able to recover the last transfer that you did.
Yeah. It's going to make it easier not only on the player to get all the stuff back, but on the admins as well to be able to just issue one command through Discord rather than having to go into the game, recover your gear. Is this correct? We know exactly what you had when you went into the server, and you will get exactly that back. Hopefully. This is the plan.
Yeah, indeed.
So, the reason we left this till last then is thoughts time. The first one being thoughts on boss kills, unlocking artifact transfers on different maps.
So let me run through the state of play at the moment. At the moment, you can transfer artifacts around all the servers on the cluster except for Valguero and Crystal Isles. For both of those maps, you cannot take any artifacts onto those servers. You cannot take any artifacts off of those servers except for the Artifact of Chaos, the Artifact of Growth, and the Artifact of the Void. That's because those three artifacts cannot be obtained on Valguero or Crystal Isles. What I'm immediately planning on doing is allowing the Artifact of the Clever, Depths, Devious, Growth, Hunter, Lost, Massive, Shadows, Stalker, and Void to be transferred in and out of Valguero, because you cannot obtain them on Valguero. So that will loosen up the restrictions there. That will then mean that anybody that says, I can't display my artifacts on Valguero or Crystal Isles, you in fact can. You can get every single artifact on both of those maps as soon as I loosen up that restriction. Crystal Isles is phenomenally populous with artifacts and only has 3 that you can't get, and those you can already transfer in. You get them on Extinction. So you can take your artifacts from Extinction to Crystal Isles and display them. So if you're on Crystal Isles, you can get every artifact in the game and display them and use them. You just can't take them off of Crystal Isles to then cheese the progression on any of the other storyline maps. Same goes for Valguero. You'll be able to get every single artifact on Valguero, but you won't be able to take all of them off. It's about 50-50 split to transfer to the other maps. So you'll be able to display all your artifacts there. Now, there is a proposed change to all of this that we've been discussing in feedback, and it's something that we need community feedback on. In the interests of progression and giving people something to work towards that makes their lives easier at the end game, we were thinking, as you kill the final boss on each server, that unlocks your ability to transfer all artifacts to and from that server. How do people feel about that? In the meantime, to answer Alf's question, I need Lost on Rag for Museum, so it will transfer to Rag. Yes, Ragnarok's not affected. You've got free reign to move things off and on Ragnarok as you see fit. The only 2 servers that are currently restricted are Valguero and Crystal Isles, and the reason behind that is because you can just fly around and hoover up artifacts off the landscape with very little effort and absolutely 0 caving. So, what are your thoughts? Give it to me in stream chat. A progression system. So you kill the Overseer on the island. That means you can then take anything off of the island or on of the island that's an artifact. Tributes still are now fully transferable between all maps. including docks as well. Kill the manticore on Scorched Earth, you can then move artifacts off and on Scorched Earth. Then Aberration, then Extinction. Exactly.
That's where my train of thought goes as well. It does. It's kind of a feather in your cap. It's, I've done this, look at me, I can do this. Progression systems are cool. Obviously, if people are watching this back later and they're catching up, if you have your input, our feedback channel.
And just for reference, I put in stream chat the table that shows all the maps and what artifacts are available on those maps. It doesn't show where you find them, but pretty much everything on Valguero and Crystal Isles is just like run around with a Hoover. Okay, and only two people got thoughts on this? Given that we've got like a whole bunch of people in chat or in stream.
It'll come.
For most, I think this kind of change won't affect the established players on the servers much, because they'll just spin up a raid group and go and trounce the boss on that map, and boom, away you go. For the new players starting, it'll mean when it comes time to do the boss, you'll have to collect your artifacts on the map you want to kill the boss on, kill the boss, and then you've unlocked that map.
Yeah.
Now, what we can do, and this is an extra piece of stuff that I really like, is we can display on the website which players have completed which maps if we go through with this idea, and give you like an award on the website that shows off you've completed Ascension Island, Scorched Earth, Aberration, and use it to track your progress.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, so we can do some nice custom graphics for each Ascension, or we can use the implant icons or whatever, and it'll show you who's got what.
Bragging rights. All good.
Yeah, exactly. It'll also mean anyone that's doing a boss run can immediately see who's done what, so they've got some clue if they know what they're doing or not.
Back to the old WoW days. Check your person's gear. Have they been to dungeon? No. Bye-bye.
Do you have achievements? Yeah, kind of like that. We could have an achievements page on the website, and we can tie in many different things to that.
That's very good.
I also saw a couple of people talking in ARC global chats, literally as we were starting the roundtable, and asking about artifacts and artifact transfers, and kind of bemoaning the fact that they can't display all their artifacts on a particular map. That's why I particularly mentioned that. Yes, you can. You can get every artifact on every map except Valguero at the moment, but I'll make that change during maintenance tomorrow, and then Valguero will be, you can get every artifact. But I don't think they're in here, or are they? But you should be pleased to know that, yes, you can. What we were very careful to do when we put in the restrictions on the artifacts was try and make it so that you can get every artifact on every map, and we weren't actually restricting it. We were just making it so that we didn't have too much cheese going on. Because while everybody loves the DLC maps because they make things a lot easier, there's easy and then there's really easy.
WoW references coming out of the woodwork now.
Oh, hang on. I just need to quickly change the battery in my headphones. Give me a sec.
You've made think.
Well, I just noticed.
How am I? Yeah.
I just noticed the display on my desk was telling me that I'm down to my last 20%. I don't want to run out while saying something important.
The past two round tables, I've actually been beeping. Quick battery changes while you were talking.
All right, there we go. All done.
Sorted.
100% power in my headphones. For those of you who don't know, what is it? The Steel Series.
The Arctic Pro Wireless.
Yeah, the Arctic Pro wireless headset. Now, I've had a lot of wireless headsets. I've had a lot of wired headsets. But finally, I stumbled on a headset that has hot swappable batteries. And the wireless kind of docking thing that comes with them has a little slot in the side and comes with two batteries. It literally, you just pop it in the side, it charges it up. So if your headphones run out of power while you're in the middle of something important, you can just pop the magnetic cover off the earpiece, put in a new battery, put the other one on charge, and away you go.
It is a game changer. You're halfway through playing something and you hear that beep, 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 and you realize you have to, yeah, it is expensive. But just not having to attach that wire and just being able to flip the battery in is so good. It really is.
And the biggest problem with wireless headphones is once your battery dies in most wireless headphones, you've got to do some soldering and screwing to replace the battery, and then it's out of warranty and all sorts of no.
What I will say, though, on the negative side, is if you wear glasses, they're very tight and does eventually lead to the sides of your head hurting like hell. So be aware.
Yeah, I don't use a mic on a wireless headset.
I'm on about my glasses. Literally, the headsets are quite firm to wear, and with having glasses, the rims of the glasses, the arms embed into the side of your head. So
I was just replying to chat.
I see. And yes, we would absolutely love a Steel Series sponsorship if you're out there. Thank you very much.
Yes, we probably wouldn't have to rely on community support for contributions towards new servers.
Yeah.
For those that you missed it, we're investigating some swanky new servers, and you can catch up on that a little bit earlier in the roundtable if you play it back later.
Yes. Also, if you're out there, Corsair and Asus, we love you too. Blatant flogging there of the corporate boat. Yes.
So the quick summary of the artifact discussion. We're going to make some changes tomorrow that will ensure that all artifacts can be got on every map. Really, the change only affects Valguero because there's like half a dozen artifacts that you can't transfer to that map that you can't get on that map. So I'll fix that. Every other map you can transfer artifacts to and from, except for Valguero and Crystal Isles. But on both of those maps, you can get all the artifacts anyway, so no problem. The proposed change is as you kill the main boss on each map, you unlock the ability to transfer artifacts to and from that map. Progression through the maps can then be displayed on the website per player, and you can get achievements, trophies, or awards, whatever we want to call them, and show off the fact that you've completed the arc. That's ideally what we want to do, and also not to forget that all tributes, Spinosaurs, Rex Talons, all that kind of thing can be transferred between all maps on the cluster. No restrictions. So that's artifacts done.
Okay. I've just been treated to a Nugget DM, and he's just shown me his concept plans for one of the first Red Bull bases, and I'm in love already. I really am. So yeah, I think that's going to be cool. So moving on to our second thought of the evening. We are requiring thoughts on the Gaia 2 overhaul, replacing the center dock server, and then enabling tiered megas on the Rad server. That's the Ragnarok dock server.
Mm-hmm. So we do have players currently on docks, and we do have players progressing through it, primarily on Ragnarok. But I know they do transfer over to the center to farm the tiered megas. Now, tiered megas are off on Ragnarok. They provide benefits and they also provide more risk. But in order for us to be able to host 2 total overhauls and provide some much needed change to our diehards kind of Docks fan base.
Let's just call them what they are. They're sadomasochists.
we do need to drop another total overhaul into the mix, and I've seen a lot of positive thoughts about that in the docs chat. So our proposal is we shut down the center and bring it back up running Gaia 2. And we put the tiered megas onto Ragnarok so that there is no content missing from docs. Could one of the mods, while we're at it, find the link for Gaia 2 and drop it into stream chat for us? I think it's spelled G. It's 4 letters, not 3, so it's not GIA.
GAIA.
That's it, GAIA 2.
Yeah.
It's slightly more forgiving, from what I understand, than docs, so it may appeal to our current ARC player base as well as kind of like a step up from ARC, but a massive step down from docs. It's not going to destroy you like docs would.
It'll just hurt you really, really bad.
So thoughts on that total overhaul, either in feedback or in docs, in the docs channel.
Yes, thank you, Scott.
And we'll go from there. That's exactly the one, Scott. Thank you.
Now, while we're on the please give us your pictures kind of things, we're also looking for something else from the event servers as well. So we are looking for confirmation of the Manticore icon working in chat for those on the event server. So the next time you're on events, put something in chat, screen grab the chat, and pass it on to ARC feedback, please, just so we can check that the elusive icon is actually working.
Because balked chat icons can be a cause of server crashes. Just saying.
So the next time one of you are on there, yeah, just put something in chat, grab the chat picture, and yeah, just Windows snippet or something and dump it into feedback, and then at least we can see and rule that out of any equations. And then lastly for this afternoon, I suppose, did anyone play the Diablo 4 beta over the weekend?
It did look good.
It was phenomenal. There were some classes that were quite broken. The Barbarian felt underwhelming, especially the melee side of the Druid. The Necro was broken as all hell. The Necro was so fun. But yeah, the Diablo 4 was rocking it. Graphically, it's superb. It looks really nice. Lighting, the snow and everything, as all your skeletons wander through the snow, everything leaves individual snow trails. Lighting, bending around buildings and stuff. They've done a cracking job. No Diablo fans. We can't do a Diablo server. It's a Blizzard hosted thing, unfortunately. But it certainly looks like it's
actually
going to be good.
How the hell did you play multiplayer on like Diablo 1 and 2?
Local LAN, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Diablo 2 was just like hook up to your friend's PC and away you go.
Yeah. Pretty sure I've played Diablo 2 over a LAN party.
Yeah. That's not something I want to invest a massive amount of thought power in, but I do believe you can create virtual LAN networks for people to join and play on.
Interesting concept.
Mm.
But yeah, Diablo Guild is absolutely possible. I think that's going to be a thing. Cool.
See, one thing I do want to point out is, yes, we host games, but everybody likes to play a whole range of games. So we don't expect people in this community just to play the games that we host. If you're getting a bit tired out from ARC, hit up the rest of the community members and play something else. Let us know what you're playing. We'll join in occasionally, and like all sorts going on.
I think Diablo's a big staple at the moment between the group. We're looking forward to that. Bit of Diablo 3 as well. We play Phasmo. If anybody's got a Phasmo thing going, that's a great game. There's loads of stuff usually going on. Or if anyone's got any really creative ideas for stuff that can host server-wise, again, let us know if it's got a decent audience and a similar vein to what we do. That's how 7 Days started. That's how Conan started. Speak up. It's all good. I can't believe that nobody played the D4 beta. Phasmo is fun.
Well, I didn't play the Diablo 4 beta, but I watched a shed load of streams on it. I find
Yeah.
myself consuming game content these days through other people's streams rather than actually playing the games myself, because it's something I can have on the other screen while I'm doing something else.
Sadly, that is getting to be the case, yeah.
So I'll sit there watching a gameplay or whatever, and people will be having a conversation about the game, and I'll be like, yeah, I can talk knowledgeably about the game. I've watched like 12 hours of it today, but I haven't actually played it.
So I think Diablo 4 is one I should be diligently saving up for. It's expensive at 65 quid, but I think that's going to be worth it when they finally sort it. Have faith in Blizzard. And The Last of Us released today, I believe, as well.
Oh yes, The Last of Us on PC.
Yes.
Ouchies! It's a 50 quid title, but
I know, I'm going to cry.
I'm so tempted.
If anybody fancies gifting lots of copies of Diablo 3 or Diablo 4 or The Last of Us, we're complete hussies for that sort of thing. It's all good. You've been downloading it. Let us know if it's any good.
What do you mean? Let us know if it's any good? I can tell you it's good. I've played 2 versions of it.
I've never played The Last of Us. I've never consoled it. I've heard all the stories. I've heard how it's supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But then it's come to PC, and as we know with PC, not everything is a great port. So you just never know, do you? But yeah,
Well,
I've heard it's immense, but it's going to have to wait.
I think if they fuck it up, it's going to be the keyboard and mouse interface.
Yes.
But at least you could then fall back to a controller.
That I would hate. I can't do it anymore. I tried. That will
Really?
kill it for me. Yeah, I just can't do controller anymore. I used to back in the day. Big PlayStation player, Sega Mega Drive, that sort of stuff. I cannot do controllers anymore. They feel alien and they frustrate me. So things like, I found that with Elden Ring as well. Great game, but the crossover from the controller to the keyboard and mouse was god awful. It was so bad. And it killed the game for me completely. I tried the controller, but it's not accurate enough for me. I don't know why. It's just maybe an old age thing or too used to keyboard and mouse now. I can't do it. It's terrible. Yes, boomer alert. I'm not a boomer. My parents were boomers. I think that's just like a wide range insult now, isn't it?
I don't even know what you're on about. Boomer? What?
Boomers were the generation after the war who, when people knew that it was safe, they were having kids after the war. So they're the boomers. And I think after the boomers was it Gen X after the boomers?
Oh God, I can't pay any attention to the marketing bollocks.
That would be kind of where we sit, I guess. If you're a Gen X, then oh my God, don't start comparing ages. It's not good. I think we're good for tonight. And Nani is now itching to get his new GPU in and then find something to play on it.
Mm.
And then I guess the full test is going to be tomorrow morning when the PC is cold. Is it going to black screen me and die in a fire or not?
The full test will be if you play some games tonight and the thing crashes, then, what happens?
That's kind of not the issue, though. The issue is usually when it's gone from cold. Once you've warmed it up a bit and put some power through the GPU, it will last a couple of hours and then we'll just suddenly go. So my guess is it's
play a game for a couple of hours and see what happens.
So I should be harassing everybody to play games as soon as I've got the card in, and we will see you next week, I guess.
Do you know what we should do? Which we haven't done for ages.
What's that?
Seeing as I actually have nothing pressing to do between now and the morning.
Right.
We should just knock out a round of Warzone. I haven't played the new one.
I mean, it's actually quite good, but I haven't got it installed.
Well, neither have I.
All right, then I'll get cracking on the card and maybe some Warzone.
I mean, like, I haven't, I want to see if it's any good and then go from there.
I played it briefly for about half an hour one night when I was actually got half an hour to play, and it felt nice to play. Gunplay was good, and it seemed better graphically. And I was getting quite impressed with it. And then time and things and other things caught up again. And then, yeah, it was like, not going to play that again. And I took it off. Oh, we have a ticket. Right, so in that case, I'll close us down for this week. We have always been the Wicked Ninjas. As always, you have all been awesome. Please have a great rest of your Tuesday night and the week. Yeah, it's a ticket. I see. Nighty night, guys.
Good night.